Hi everyone. Thanks for thanks for tuning in and checking us out. My name is Alexander, and you are listening to Roots. This is a podcast concept that my mom and I have been thinking about and working on for quite a while. Mom, say hello.
Hi, how are you, Alexander? Hi, everyone.
It's kind of weird just because like I would love to do this face to face, but I'm currently in for everyone listening, I'm currently in Boston, Massachusetts, and my mom is in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida. She rubs it in every chance she gets about the warm weather, and I hate it.
You have a choice.
I have a choice, and I chose to be in the warmest place possible, Boston. Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
yeah, thanks to everyone for again for checking us out. Essentially, the concept of this is it started when I I I went to go see a play actually. I don't know, Mom. I don't know if I told you this story, but I went to go see a play up in Boston, and it was kind of about the 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 journey of a Vietnam refugee over to the United States, kind of like the different things that they were facing, the things that they were struggling. And there was a lot of open dialogue in that, which brought me to ask a lot of questions about myself. And it led me to realize that, like, I understand very little about the struggles and sacrifices that um, essentially you and dad had to go through and face in order to be where you are today. And so,
no, I
um,
don't think you ever told me about that. All I know is I was writing my memoir
mhm,
and I asked my niece, your cousin, Emily, to be part of editing my memoir because she's in journalism major and she just graduated from Rutgers. So last year when I write my memoir, I was intrigued because she asked me one time. She made a phone call to me and she said that how come I don't know anything about grandma and grandpa and the family? So I said, oh my God, it's right on because I have been planning to write a memoir for a long time for you guys, the next generation, because we I don't know why, but we just rarely talk about our family history. And then when
yeah.
I told you about Emily's getting involved to be the editor, and you said, how come you didn't ask me? So I was jumping up and down with joy, um, happy that you want to know and you want to be part of it. And I said, what what would you want to do? Would you want to be an editor? And you said, no, you want to ask me a question, maybe in the podcast. And I was like, oh my God, that would be complete the picture after having a book. I'm so glad that we're still following up with the idea.
Yeah, plug it, Mom. What's the book called?
Well, the book is called I Did Not Miss the Boat. And it is a memoir of a Vietnam Hoa refugee. So lots of people understand the first part because we all say that every day, right? Oh, I missed the boat. You know, people understand pretty much that they missed the opportunity. Now, why I call the boats? Because the boat means so much to us. It literally was a literary vessel that brought us out of the communist regime to freedom. But the boats also have a figuratively meanings that um, I felt like sometimes I have missed out a lot of things in life because of the situation that we were born in and because things that we were afraid to take action. So those are the things that I think, we missed the opportunity, but I didn't miss it because physically I'm here and now I have the book and I have a lot of achievement to prove that I didn't miss the boat. I
Hmm.
actually um, built my own boat, literally almost.
Yeah.
So
It's almost a mini yacht now at this point, isn't it?
yeah, it's not quite there yet, but I'm paddling a lot less and actually get the engine for it, so
Hmm.
I don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
And so So when you wanted to be part of the podcast, I was super, super happy because now it's give us a chance to connect in a deeper level. And I get a reason to tell you everything, all transparent, completely without thinking that you're too young to understand because you are not too young anymore.
Yeah, no, this was really fortuitous timing. So like I had watched this musical and then from my side of the story, I had all these questions about, you and dad and about, your journey and your story. And then we were talking about it and then you had mentioned, oh, you're in the middle of writing a book. And so we took a look at the first couple of chapters together and just by reading it through, I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased because it's my own family and it's my own mom, but man, the stuff you guys went through, I was like holding my breath through some sections and I could like I could you painted a picture where I could like smell and experience and just like visualize and internalize kind of like what you were going through and never to a point where I would be able to understand what you guys went through, but definitely it allows me to appreciate and have like a really different sense of gratitude around what that what that was like and what that might have been like. So
You don't know how much it means for me to hear that. I can die happy tomorrow. I mean, just,
yeah.
but I think that's the struggle with not just me, but many immigrants that don't have that dialogue to their children or even their parents. It's like I think we talk about us less and less, and we talk about what we're doing, how we're doing. It's like our daily activity more than we talk about our family history or trying to understand where we came from. So this book actually brought me back to reconnected with my own past and with
Mm,
my own parent in a sense.
mm. And yeah, I think what so getting back to like the point of this podcast, we kind of wanted to we kind of wanted to lay the context down for everyone that's listening. And I think there's a lot of things that we want to get out of this, but for me, first and foremost, it's just understanding my mom, being able to appreciate and learn, um, what she's went through and how she views things, and then hopefully in turn, she could do the same thing for me because we're very we're generationally we're very different people. We've been raised up in extremely different contexts, and since I left home to go to university, I've gone through a lot of different things that make me a very different person from my mom. And so my goal out of this is to really understand you and hope that I can also talk to you and have you understand me because um,
Absolutely.
I think that quite frankly there's been quite a bit of distance that's grown since since I've left home, and that's not bad
Even
at
when
all.
you were home, you were a teenager and you get your own things to do. So um, I don't ever think that you told me a lot of things, but things in your head that you're not sharing, there's no way I can understand or know that.
Hmm.
So the more we get to know or close to each other is the more communication that we have.
Yeah.
Not in the offensive and defensive way, but in the adult eye to eyes way.
Hmm. And I'm completely on board with that. I think that like there's probably some things that we're going to be very different on. I think we're going to probably not agree on some things.
Right?
But that's perfectly fine. Like we're very different people now at this point, and so I think that it's healthy to have that conversation because in the end, it's just about understanding you, about you understanding me. And I want that. Because I think that having that conversation is important, and I feel like uh, in a lot of Asian households, you probably don't get that conversation as much, especially from a generational standpoint. Like this was like a recurring theme that in this play that I was watching, where it was like the mom and the dad of the family were very against just talking about it for some reason. They didn't want to
Yeah,
focus on it,
right.
because they're here now. They're very focused on the present, and they're
And
looking at
sometimes
like
the pain too, because you don't want to reveal your pain because it's vulnerable when you have to talk about it. You have to bring up the past, and sometimes people just ignore it altogether and they just sweep it under the rug. But the thing is, when we're not addressing it, that pain was never going to go away, and a lot of hidden resentment that will carry on. And I
sure,
know
yeah,
how I do have those feelings toward my mom, and I don't want you to have those feelings toward me.
yeah. No, and again, I think that's very different. But I mean, we're gonna get into it throughout these episodes, and for everyone that's listening, I think highly recommend that you check out the book, just because that's how I want to base this conversation on. We're kind of going to dissect the different types of chapters chronologically and talk about them, and just kind of like dive into some of the different contexts, dive into the some of the different stories and the themes that I'm seeing that I want to talk about. And then obviously, Mom, I'm sure you have a bunch of questions for me as well. But that, again, highly encourage you guys to check out the book. It's again, I'm still biased just because it's my own family story. But
But I
I,
want to chime in that this podcast not only it give us, me and you, an opportunity to have a dialogue, but also hopefully will help other people, other immigrants and refugees out there that feel like you have a story and you keep it in silence because you hope that it's going to go away or things just going to be you can patch it up and go on without addressing it. I want you to know that to be able to move on freely is able to express it what you holding. It's so good to break that silence and be vulnerable is hard. Be uncomfortable in the conversation is hard, but the reward is just so much better. Um, and going through the period of writing that book, of the memoir, was not an easy journey. But I'm so glad that I have done it. And I'm so glad that my siblings enjoying the story. And it's also give them a lot of little gaps, pieces of puzzle that they miss that put in that big picture.
mhm.
And the biggest side effect, side product is the next generation who at the point that they want to understand their roots. And I'm so glad that we have a chance to do that. And like I said, this podcast is also to help other people, other family to do that as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that that pretty much sums it up just about right. So like we're going to be talking about our family and our story, in a lot of different contexts, and so like you're going to get a lot of different angles and viewpoints from both my mom and myself, from my mom and myself. I'm going to be exploring it more of just like I want to learn more about you. I want to understand you, and I want you to understand me. I think my mom's goal in this is a lot more inclusive. More about. I think there's a lot of like, uh, quite frankly, like female empowerment. Talking about your story and you as an individual and the strength that you had. There's also a lot about your journey and the whole reason,
Resilience,
yeah,
yeah, I guess,
resilience.
you know.
And the whole reason that we wanted to publicize is that like we hope that to whoever's listening, like someone can relate to something that's
Yeah,
being
our
taught.
story will be also make you think about how you can address your own story and your own struggle that you can also make an amend to your own family.
Yeah, because we understand that our story is being publicized, but in no means is it unique. There's a lot of people on that boat with my mom, so they all went through their own different things. They had their own different struggles and trials, and so we just hope that you know as we talk through this and as we flesh out the different themes and explore our relationship closer. Hopefully that's relatable to someone and helps start discussions elsewhere as well.
I want to thank you, Alexander, for taking the initiative to launch this project, and it just feels right, feels good.
Thanks, Mom. It's not easy. It's not easy as millennial. I'm a bit of a procrastinator, so I know it's taken us a little while to get here. But I'm really glad that we're about to get this on the road, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
So
It's
we'll
going to be
do this
exciting.
every week, right? So just the listeners know that how often do we do it, and how do they tune in? Are we going to put that on YouTube or where?
Yes. So we're going to be recording these podcast sessions, and then I'll do a quick edit, and then we can post them on YouTube. We'll have like a playlist that sorted by episode. And I think this is like a pretty good kind of just like pilot intro. And then for next session, we're going to be diving right into chapter one, um, about my mom's family, what her parents and their parents went through, and I definitely have some questions there. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super exciting. A lot of this is going to be, I think, a little bit personal. Um, so
So
hopefully,
I want to jump in and say that people who want to follow up with the conversation, they can always read the book ahead of time, and the book is available on Amazon. The title is "I Did Not Miss the Boat: Memoir of a Vietnam Hoa Refugee," and under Lea Tran, Leatran, and you can also buy the book on my website. The website name is also leatran.com.
that basically covers it, right, Mom? Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of introduce to the listeners, or anything you want to preface?
Well, no, I think there's a lot to talk about, and I think this is just the reason why we do what we're doing, and hopefully that will benefit somebody out there who needed to hear the story, who needed the encouragement, who needed the inspiration to get right onto their own lives and their own family and make a bridge to their older or younger generation. And there's so much that we can actually take control in our lives to make our lives better with the people we love. So this is a chance to speak up and to make peace. And it's up to the person if they want to make peace or not, but we can do it for ourselves. Like, just like anybody, you can control nobody but your own. So this is my way of controlling my own story, my own narrative. And I'm glad that it crossed a bridge, and it's got some of my siblings, my niece and nephew, and my son
Yes.
get involved. So I'm very
No,
happy.
definitely. It's not just going to be a conversation between me and my mom. I obviously want to get other members of my family involved as well, because they're all a part of the picture and they're all a part of the story. So to get their context, to get their point of views is just as important to me. So it's a
Yeah,
little bit more than just bridging the gap between me and my mom. It's also
right.
about um, our family continuing to
So we're
strong
putting it out
close.
there 100% transparent to the whole world, our family.
I
That's
guess
why
so.
it's called Roots.
I guess so, yeah.
I love the name. Thank you. I love the name.
hmm All right, great. Well, thanks everyone for again just listening, and if you stayed with us for this long, hopefully the next couple of episodes we can jump right into it, and hopefully this conversation's productive. Feel free to have any level of conversation on this. I think the more people that we can get included into this type of discussion, that the better and the healthier it is. And, um, you know,
Yeah, please
it.
subscribe and like so we can.
I think it's just like the more the more conversation we see about this, it
Mhm.
just means that, like we're doing a good job of like making it relatable and making it so
Yeah,
that like other people feel the same way. So
right.
I think, if anything, that's what I would want to see out of it. That counts as a success for me.